and today I'm going to be doing a brow lamination on myself. I do have, thick hair in this section of my brow, and then I kind of just get thin on my ends. This is gonna help lift up my hairs and make them look thicker, and for you can do the same. So the brand that we like to use is Thuya. The first step of this process is the permanent gel. All right. So we're gonna do this step first. And I like to use my handy dandy Alexa, and she'll do the timer for me. So for this first session, we're gonna apply a good amount of the gel, the permanent gel, to the eyebrows and comb upwards. I'll use a mirror right in front of me too. There you go. All right. So we're gonna, so if you're doing this on your client, you're also just combing this upward. Because the look really is like it's perming the eyebrow, this step, and the look is kind of like an upward, thick, fluffy eyebrow that people want right now. That's kind of like the look. It's a nice, thick, fluffy, and up. Okay. We could trim it later. For now, I'm just gonna kind of comb up. Then I'm gonna do the other side. And then I'm gonna apply some saran wrap and put it on for 4 minutes. So again, just a good amount of gel, because I wanna make sure to get every single hair and combing them up, 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 up. This brow lamy is awesome. We can accompany it with a wax and a tint as well to make them look even thicker, fuller, and give them more shape. And this can last anywhere up to 6 weeks. But there, have them all up kind of, okay? Now I'm gonna get me some saran wrap. This whole procedure takes about 45 minutes to an hour. If we do tint, it's gonna be about an hour with the wax and tint. If we're just doing a brow lamy on its own, probably 45 minutes because we are waiting. Alexa, put a timer on for 3 minutes. So this is broken up into sessions and you'll see me do that. Hold on. All right. So we're waiting right now, those 3 minutes. And then I'm gonna comb them upwards once more, but I'm gonna use a little lip applicator. And then I'll wait another 4 minutes. So this is how sexy I'm looking. So if you have unruly brows, if you have really curly brows, if you have brows that point down, if you have thin brows, you can make them look thicker and appear thicker by doing this process where we're making them fluffy, we're pointing them upwards and out. The first step, like I said, is gonna be that permanent gel. Once we're done with the permanent gel, we're gonna neutralize, because this is quite literally a perm. We're forcing the hair to stay up and out. And then after that, I might do a tint today, so you'll see me do that. The tint is the process that you'd wanna do after the neutralizing cream. And right now my eyebrows are already waxed, but normally I would, as my first step, cleanse the skin and remove any hair and shape the brows a little bit. But I like to leave the hairs up here because we might be using them for this. We want it to look nice and fluffy, so leaving more hair is better for this. And then you could go back in with your tweezer and kind of just pluck away any hairs that might be out of the design that you're creating. And then I'll go back once I'm finally done and use a scissor and kind of trim up the hairs if I need to help with the shape. Alexa, what's the timer on?
You have 50 seconds left on your
Okay.
3-minute timer.
We also provide training one-on-one for this procedure. So if you ever want to learn how to do brow lamination and, you know, be able to offer that service to your clients, it's a great service. Clients love it. It's really a great fad right now. And we do that with you with the live model. And we give you all your training kit. So it comes with all the supplies that you need. And I really make sure that you guys know what you're doing before you leave here. It's definitely one of the things on our training list of training that you can pick up immediately. So once you do it once, you're like, oh, this is easy peasy. Especially if you're already waxing brows or shaping brows or tinting brows. Adding a brow lamination is just a few steps of leaving a product on for a few minutes. So it's very easy to do. All right, there goes our Alexa. Alexa, stop. So now I'm going to take one off. And I'm just going to brush with one of these little lip applicators. Upwards, upwards, up and out. However you want this to go. Mine I kind of want up and out. Some people want that straight up. So talking to your client, having them show you pictures of what they want, what they're looking for, talking with them, communicating with them leads to a happier client than just assuming that they want whatever style it is that you want for them. And some people do. They're like, hey, you're the professional. You do whatever you want. And that's fine too. Okay. So now I'm going to put that back on. Oop. The thicker the hair, you can leave it on for like a minute more. I normally do leave it on for 8 minutes total with the perming gel. And I do have, even though I don't have a lot of hair, I have thick hairs. Alexa, put a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
Ooh, I'm so excited. My daughter has me do this for her all the time. It makes her eyebrows look a lot thicker. So, here we go. So I'm leaving that on for another 4 minutes, and then you're gonna watch me neutralize them. Speaking of my daughter that shouldn't be on here and should be at school. All right, guys. So again, the brand that we like using is Thuya. There's tons of different brands to use. This just happens to be the one that I've used for, I don't know, maybe 7 years now. It's one that I trust. You're more than welcome to try a different brand. I would try a different brand on yourself or on a model or a friend before you do on your clients. But this one I do trust, and it does last for as long as it says it's going to last. I haven't had anybody have allergic reactions or any adverse effects. You will see that people with sensitive skin sometimes get redness right around their brows from this step right now, the perming solution. That's normal. That's why I do prefer, though, doing my waxing before and doing everything before, because some people are very sensitive. So trying to keep this product on the actual brows only and not on the skin as much as possible is better, because they don't need it on their skin. They just need it on the brows. Alexa, how much longer?
You have 2 minutes and 20 seconds
All right.
left on your 4-minute timer.
So, today I actually had a client come in and she's saying, hey, you know, I'm doing the brow lamination on her, and you can see that she has little spots that we could possibly do nano brow on. So if you want to learn how to do nano brows, it's a form of permanent makeup that looks like hair strokes. And it's one of my favorites. It looks super natural. You wouldn't even tell it's a tattoo. And this would be the perfect opportunity when you're tinting your client's brows, when you're waxing your client's brows, when you're doing a brow lamination. They clearly want their brows to look more thick and fluffy, and you're able to do that with permanent makeup now. So if you want to inquire, you can DM us, and we do live one-on-one classes. They're about a day and a half. The first part of the day is just learning about it, practicing on fake skin, And then the second day is when we actually have the model come in and we work one-on-one with you and the model to make sure you know exactly what you're doing before you leave and that you feel confident in continuing to practice. But these are the kind of services that are great to speak to clients about things that they already know. They already know they have a bald spot. They already know they've lost their arch or their tails, which is super normal. Now you're able to upsell them and tell them, hey, listen, I also do tattoos. I do henna tint, whatever it is that you need to do. Those appointments are great for talking to clients about what else you can do for them that's more of a permanent solution. Let's see. I get my neutralizer ready. So usually if I know I'm going to tint the person, because I'll tint mine. Once I'm at that neutralizing step, I actually get my little glass ready and I start filling up my tint, because the tint needs to sit for 5 minutes anyways. We're going to have this sit for 8 minutes. So around that time is when I start getting it together so that by the time I'm wiping off the neutralizing step, I'm ready to start applying the eyebrow tint. So I'm going to get that ready together. Let me see. The one I use is Reflecticil. That's what we usually use, a 3% developer. And I put equal parts with the tint. But that's the brand. For me, I have very dark hair, so I'm gonna do I'm gonna do black. Siri, or Alexa, off. All right, so now I'm gonna take these little babies off. I'll wipe away that product, upwards and out, upwards and out, upwards and out, upwards and out. All right. Now is the neutralizing step. So you'll see those cute videos that people make, and you can make your own as well. But I like to do the little dots throughout the brow. It's kind of hard to do it on yourself through a phone camera, but I'll do that, and then I'll actually take a little video of me swiping the material. Okay. And then make sure you close all of these products, okay? Don't just leave them open and exposed to air. Immediately close them because they are chemical processes. All right, so this is the neutralizing cream. I'm gonna take one of these lip applicators and gently push it into the hairs. And the same motions again, up and out. And up and out. It's funny because people see me in person and I'm telling them about the tattoos that we do here. The eyebrow tattoos, whether it's the hair stroke look or the powder brow look where it looks like it's makeup. And I tell them, oh yeah, and I actually have mine done. And nobody believes me. You know, they're like, what? Oh my gosh, let me see. And they want to look up close. The permanent makeup of today is so much more realistic than it's ever been. So take advantage of that. Do your research, make sure the place is reputable. Make sure you've seen plenty of pictures and videos of their work. But now the techniques that are out there are so realistic and almost completely painless. Alexa, put a timer for 4 minutes. All right. So now that that's going, I'm really starting to mix up my brow tint and get it ready for the client so that by the time I'm done with this process, I can just start putting the tint. And the tint, I normally leave it on maybe 5 minutes. It's rare if you have to leave it on a little longer. We do perform henna tint here, but the one thing is when you're doing a chemical process like the brow lami, you're already doing such a harsh chemical treatment that you can't combine it with a henna treatment as well. So henna would have to be at least a week later, but you can do just regular brow tint, the kind of brow tint that lasts on the hair for 6 weeks and it lasts in the skin for a couple days. Right. Alexa, louder. So I'm just mixing it up. And again, I do equal parts. So equal parts of that developer and the color. I'm just getting it ready. Okay. Now it's nice and ready. Let's see. The brush I like to use for doing any of the tinting for the eyebrows is going to be like one of these flat brushes right there. You see how it has that straight edge? It just makes it easier to apply, and kind of just making sure that it's as perfectly straight as possible going this way. And then even for the top, it makes it a lot easier for you to just be precise. Let's see, what else am I going to be using? Sometimes I'll use these to kind of cleanse around the area, but also my favorite to use when tinting the eyebrows to kind of clean around the edges is going to be these kind of like little pointed Q-tip sticks, very tiny, and they even sell them smaller. I have them smaller. Where you can actually just clean around the area of tint once you're done applying to make them super sharp. So I'll have that here. Ooh, I can feel them doing their thing and tingling a little. This is actually the first time I've ever done a brow lami, but we get them requested often because it's definitely like a style right now to have your brows fluffy looking and thick. So, and I'm excited to have mine. I actually went thicker this last time that I did my permanent makeup with Tammy, so now my brows are slightly thicker than they used to be. So I want the hairs to look even more fluffy within that tattoo. Alexa, how much longer?
You have 2 timers. 4-minute timer with about 20 seconds left, and I'm showing split over that. An 8-minute timer with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Okay. Turn off the 8-minute timer. Alexa, turn off the 8-minute timer.
8-minute timer.
Alexa, off. So now, after those 4 minutes, I'm gonna take one of those lip applicators again and comb up and out. Oh, they're looking so good. They're looking nice and fluffy. And we could go back in with a little mascara wand if you need to, or a tiny little comb to kind of make the hairs perfectly set apart. And take this off. Oh yeah, I'm happy. These are looking super thick and fluffy. Okay. Alexa, put a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Starting now.
Okay. We're almost there, guys. So, if you're someone who has curly hair, thin brows, you want to fill them in, we can do that. The henna tint is one of my favorites though. So with the henna tint, like I said, we can't perform it with this procedure, but you can perform it a week after. And the henna tint lasts on the skin for up to 2 weeks. It lasts in the hair for about 8 weeks. And I love the henna. It looks similar to getting a ombre brow or powder brow tattoo. So it's a great precursor. So if you're scared to like get the powder brow tattoo, if you're scared to just get an eyebrow tattoo in general, the henna tint is great for you to see what it would look like before taking that big leap. And you'd be able to see the shape and everything. It's great. So let's see. And now you can see my tint is nice and ready for me. So as soon as this is done, I'll be able to put some tint. Let's see. So for the brow lamination and wax, it's 75. If you end up doing brow lamination, wax, and tint, it's 99. The henna tint is the one that's 75 if you end up doing a wax and henna tint. And it takes about an hour because you are setting everything, 45 minutes to an hour. You are setting everything, we're mapping it out perfectly because it's gonna be on your skin as well. So we wanna make sure that it's mapped out. When we perform a tattoo, it's much more concise. It takes a lot longer. The tattoos we do here for eyebrows takes anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours because that does include a good 30 to 45 minutes of just mapping and making sure that they're perfect and that you've approved of the color, that you've approved of the shape together with your artist as a collaboration. And then we have you completely numbed up and we get started on your eyebrows. But it's one of my favorite things to do. And it's so transformative for clients where you have them cry or just like smile like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have eyebrows now. I don't have to paint them on every day. And even the shape, everything is something that they were a part of. And that's how you lead to having much happier clients. So making sure that you're not just doing whatever you want on them. You are the artist. So your opinion matters. Your opinion on color matters. Your opinion on the shape that you think looks best for them matters. But it's still something that they need to be comfortable with. Alexa, what's the timer on?
You have 50 seconds left.
All right, almost done. Let me get these little cotton rounds. Okay. So because we're gonna be tinting, when I remove my tint, I normally have cotton rounds. And I just put water on my cotton rounds and have them nice and ready on my tray so that when I need to remove the tint, they're there. But this last step is almost done and I'm gonna wipe the last step, which was the neutralizing cream, the very last one I just did. And I wipe it away with a dry cotton round. So in just a second here, we're gonna do that. There it goes. Alexa, off. Okay. So we've done the perm, we've done the neutralizing cream. Now I'm gonna wipe up and out, up and out. And same on this side, up and out. Okay. So now, time for the tint. You're gonna see me looking kind of in a mirror because this is too hard to see. But there's that flat brush I mentioned to you with my tint. And I just take little bits at a time. And then I'll look onto this mirror next to me. Let's see. And don't worry if you gotta get outside of the design, because again, you have those sticks nice and ready so that you can wipe away any imperfections in the design. But again, I love this thing. So I'm gonna go upwards like this and use that flat end to help me perfect the line I'm trying to make here. So now I'm going to take these little sticks and kind of Go in, cleanse the area. Okay. Okay. That one's looking pretty good. All right, so let's go on to the other side. So wherever there's no hair at all, I do tend to leave a little extra tint, like layer it on thicker. And something I like to tell clients is I can't create something out of nothing. If you put this kind of tint, because this is not henna, if you put this kind of tint on someone that has zero hair in that area, it doesn't tend to stay well. They do need to have some hair. Okay. Okay. Alexa, put a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Alrighty. And I look kind of crazy right now. Don't you just love the sexy tint look? This is usually when I have clients send a picture to their hubby or their boyfriend and say, hey baby, do you like my eyebrows? Don't they look so nice? I do tend to keep looking at them too. Let's see. We don't have too much longer with this crazy tint. Soon I'm gonna have thick and fluffy lashes. So while this is prepping and you're waiting, we only have a few minutes left of the tint. Make sure you have your cotton rounds ready with the water so that way we can wipe. Usually I'll take a little bit from the very front area right here to make sure that they're dark enough and that I don't need to leave them longer. And some people actually prefer that ombre look. You could either do that by taking one of these mascara wands and pointing upwards and scratching the skin to make it a little more ombre, or you could literally just remove the pigment sooner in that area. Alexa, what's the timer on?
You have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Okay, so we still have time. So not only do we teach how to do the brow lamination one-on-one, we teach how to do henna tint, we teach brow shaping class. So if you need to do that because you're kind of struggling still, it's not something you really went through in school, you can do a one-on-one training with one of our specialists to make sure that you feel more comfortable and more confident with your work. We're almost done here, guys. Let's see. I'm excited to see what these are gonna look like. They look pretty good. Okay. So with our classes, you will get the entirety of a kit, you get a certification, you will be getting lifetime support. So you could also call us, text us with any issues, any problems, any questions that you have afterwards. The other thing that we offer as part of our training course is that you have access to come in to the salon and actually view our professionals working on clients, because part of learning is watching. So when you get to watch what other people are doing, you will also learn. So afterwards, if you have time in your day and you want to come see, you call up our receptionist, say, hey, what's going on? What's on the schedule today? Are they going to have lashes or going to have this? And you can actually see the girls work. Everyone has their own techniques. You're still going to learn whatever your instructor's techniques are and go off of there, because you're going to create your own kind of things that you're comfortable with, even if it's just the way you're sitting or what hand you use for something or what tool you use. Everyone kind of has their own techniques, but when you come in to view after class what our technicians do and what our specialists do, you actually see that everybody has their own thing, their own, method of mapping, their own method of doing things. So you get to see that. So I think that part's pretty cool. It sets us apart from other training places, is definitely the lifetime support. So you feel like you're not just on your own. Alexa, how much longer?
You have 20 seconds left on your 5-minute timer.
And the countdown begins, guys. We're about to see my brows. Alexa, off. All right, so you could always remove just the fronts and kind of check. So remember, up and out still when you're removing the tint. Up and out, up and out. No, I don't look as scary. Okay. Oh, I love this so much. So even with someone like me that does have the permanent makeup, I still enjoy a brow lamination because it's gonna have my hairs up and out and fluffy. So I take this time to kind of comb them. Then we're moving on to the final step. The final step is our last, which is the regeneration cream from Thuya. So regeneration cream, you don't need a huge amount, but just a nice healthy amount. So here's this. I take one of my mascara wands. Okay. And make sure you close these up if you're not using them, because this tube especially will just keep kind of coming out slowly. All right, so now I have this. I'm gonna actually put it into the brow. And up and out again. This is really your time to really perfect it. It's kind of like a gel, because it's gonna help hold the hairs in whatever direction we want. Especially after you did that tint and you removed it with water. So afterward, we will want to take care of these babies. There's no water for 24 hours on them. There's certain things you want to avoid, and we'll give you a printout of what exactly to do on aftercare and how to take care of them. But I'm loving them. They look so fluffy and thick. So literally fluff, which they are not normally fluff, but now they are.